Alright, so here's section 2. We had a lot of trouble getting off this raft on section 1, so we're going to try something different this time. But to start with, we go ahead and put this assembly tool in there. Keep everything rigid. There, so that's in there. And then we're going to do it the way the instructions said, which is always a good idea. And we're going to put everything together and then use rubber bands to hold it and then start gluing. Alright, so section 2, these pieces, the side pieces go down like this. And it looks like these are just resting. These don't touch these don't touch the uprights, which is interesting. Okay. Anyway, all these side pieces go down, so let's put those in. Try to keep everything from flopping around there. And then this one goes here. So it's already kind of falling apart there. With that really floppy base, I don't know how it would hold together. So it looks like it's supposed to. Actually, these have to go the other way, right? And then you flip it over to install it in the machine. Okay, so it does go this way. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can't. You have to glue it in this direction because the assembly piece at the bottom. So he's showing it assembled here, but you actually have to glue it in the opposite direction because the sacrificial base is on this end of it. So, and if you look here, these pieces here, they hit the sacrificial base. So, I mean the assembly tool. Okay. So when you assemble it, the horizontal pieces that don't touch need to go upright, up to the sky. Okay. Keep this going without messing it up here. Once we get all 4 sides, then we can put the rubber bands on, and then it'll hold better. Okay, so now he recommends putting rubber bands on. Shake his head. Here we go. Alright, the good news about glue... Oh no, that one's upside down. Haha. I had one of these joints at the bottom in section 1. Some glue got onto the assembly piece. It was hard to get it off. I mean, it came off okay, but I think I'm gonna wait. I'm only gonna glue these top 2 layers because I want to make sure I disassemble this first, and then I'll glue this last one, because by then everything will be holding together. So. Put these on. And then we need to add these horizontal pieces. So we'll do that next, and we'll glue these first. That's what his instructions say, and then glue these. So. Well, we'll double check to make sure everything's squared up first too. Alright, so we've got everything lined up. And got 3 rubber bands on here. Now we're going to put each of these horizontal pieces in here and then glue them in place. So I guess I'm going to be gluing them from the side, so maybe I can put them all in. And then I think I want to do it that way. Put them all in, they kind of slot in there. There's a little male piece here and a female piece going the other way. It should just snap in here pretty much. That way, before we start gluing, make sure everything is squared up. Like this one got too low. Okay. So that's the first layer. I'm also going to make sure these are all the way down, so we can press down on these. That's the first one, now the second. These doesn't matter which orientation these go, top or bottom. I can see now why he doesn't have a video of him putting this together. This is take a lot of editing. We'll see how well I can edit this, my version of it, because this is takes quite a bit of time if you're working carefully to get this set. So, all right, so we're gonna look at it from all sides, make sure everything's lined up, and then we'll start gluing. All right, so we're just examining all these little joints here, make sure everything is seated. I did that. The rubber bands I'm putting in between each segment. There's 3 segments here, so halfway up these diagonals, that's a good place to put the rubber bands. We'll press down this layer, and then we'll put some glue on it. So we're going to glue the horizontal pieces first, then come back and do the vertical ones. Drop the glue there, drop the glue there, drop the glue there, and drop the glue there. Alright, so I'll do the rest of them, and then we'll come back and start working on the vertical ones. Okay, so one thing I did before I glued each of these horizontal pieces, make sure I push down on the horizontal piece to make sure it was seated, because the second one popped up, one of these junction joints popped up slightly, so I made sure it was reseated before I glued it. The other thing I've been doing, I don't know if you noticed, is before I put the cap back, I always wipe this off with a paper towel, just to keep the glue from building up. Eventually the glue will build up on this tip here, and once it's a big solid mass, you can take some pliers and just kind of pull the whole thing off, but it's better to keep it clean, then it doesn't get, then it's easier to put the glue where you need it. So, okay, so that's drying, so we'll let that dry for maybe a minute, and then we'll come back and do these vertical pieces. Alright, so now those horizontal pieces are dry. Now, I'm going to come back on the bottom ones. I'm actually going to put some glue on it, but I'm only going to put glue at the very top of this joint here. I don't want any glue down here where the assembly tool is. So let's put a little drop of glue here, top of that joint, let it drip down. And then we'll just do the rest of them. And these other ones I might put a little bit of glue down the side here, because I don't have to worry about it attaching to this thing. So. Okay, so let this glue dry, and then we're going to try a new method of getting off the sacrificial layer and the raft, because last time we had a lot of trouble, if you remember. So, all right, this is dry now, so we're going to try a new method to get off the bottom here. What we're going to do is going to use this box cutter blade, and we'll lock it in place, and then we're going to try sawing. Make sure I don't cut myself. Sawing away at the bottom of this post. See if we can just saw that off, and main job here is don't stab yourself. So if I was doing this again, I would not put this big thick raft on here, but unfortunately I'm stuck with it. So I would probably do a lot of experimenting with thinner rafts, and maybe just a 1-layer raft. That would give 2 layers of sacrificial material, and that might be enough to keep this stable, but then not be so hard to get off. So I showed you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to show the whole thing. It's going to take too long, so let me just do it, and I'll show you how it works when I'm done. Alright, I found a technique that works. So first of all, I put my hand on the top, so I'm well away from the blade. Then I put the blade at the edge of the table. I put the piece near the edge of the table, and I use this box cutter blade to put a gap in here. So this is a safe way to do it. Just have to get past the first few layers of this side. Then I can use my super thin spatula. The links to these spatulas are in the show notes. And this can get in here now. Work its way under until it separates it from the raft. So it wants to come out. There should be like a layer between the raft and the bottom of the post. There we go. Okay. So you can see now I got that off on both sides here. So I'll do the other two sides, and then we'll be able to take this off and add it to section 1. Alright, so I got it off, and you can see this came off cleanly, and then this should just come off, this assembly tool. Unless some glue dripped down there, which looks like it might have happened again. Last time, a little bit of prying, it came off. Okay. Alright, so now we need to put some glue on this side of these pieces, because I didn't want to get any glue in there when we still had this on here. So glue this up, glue the tops, this side of these joints. So we'll set that aside, then we can start working. We have this tool available now, we can start working on the next one. So I'm going to do that. I'm not going to show section 3 because it's exactly the same as section 2. So I'll just show you the completed section 3, and then we'll try putting 1, 2, and 3 together. It's now ready to glue section 1, or section 2 to section 1. So now, remember I talked about these things not being supported by anything, but what happens is when you put them on the previous section, they go into the trusses from down below. So when you line these up, one of these columns doesn't have anything on it. So this column is bare here. So line that one up. Other ones have these little, I guess they're pipes going up or something. So 3 of the corners have features on the outside, and this one is clean. So make sure you line those up. Other than that, they're identical, and these sort of fit in here. I don't know if I'm going to glue them or not. I guess I probably will glue them once I get it all. I'll probably wait till I assemble the whole section. I'll come back and try to glue these. I'll have to hold, because this is, not perfectly straight here, so I think I'll do that. I'll make it a little bit stronger. Anyway, but in the meantime, the main strength is going to come from these dowel pins and glue on these surfaces here. So what we're going to do is we'll take the dowel pins out. Well, I started wearing a glove on these on my left hand, which what I'm using to hold things, because I was getting quite a bit of glue on it. So that's much of glue on both hands, but I'm just going to use one for now. So what I'll do is I'm going to put glue down each of these holes. Then I'm going to put a dowel pin in. Make sure we get a good connection in that direction. Now it says only put glue on one surface. So what we're going to do for this section, now remember this section goes this way, don't put it in backwards. So the unsuspended section goes down. So we're going to put glue on these guys and also on the surface up here. Glue in each hole here and on the little flat area around the hole. Working quickly here. Now we make sure we line up our section that's not decorated. Don't mess that up, because again you'll be stuck. You'll be stuck with that. There you go. Now we're going to hold this down. Press as hard as we can. There's going to be a little bit of a gap between sections, but it doesn't matter. I could spend an hour sanding it so it's a completely flat joint, but it's not worth it. So. Alright, so now we're going to attach section 3 to section 2 the same way. So put glue in each of these holes. Dowel pin in each hole. I pre-cut these. You can go a little bit longer than 20 millimeters, maybe 22, 23. There. Alright, then on this one, remember the side with the unsupported section is going down, and remember to find the clean post to make sure you line that one up. So No, it's probably not critical, but it's nice to make it look. It's going to look better, so let's just do it. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Let's try to get it right. It'll look funny if you look at it closely, but it doesn't line up like that. Alright, so let me flip this over quickly. Put this on. Alright, then hold it down again. And we'll come back and it should be all, sections 1 through 3 should be all connected. Alright, sections 1 through 3 are done. We can put on the base. And we have the beginnings of a launch tower. It's going to be harder and harder to video this because that's on my super wide view and it's barely fits in the view here far away from me. So, alright, that's looking really great. And pretty soon we'll have all the other sections done and we'll be ready to launch. Alright, so we have sections 1 through 3 assembled. And we're going on to 4, 5, 6, and 7. And 4, 5, 6, and 7 are basically the same. I mean, it's the same kind of construction. There are some details that are different on these because of the quick disconnect arm, but I wanted to highlight one other thing. So I'm not going to show that because it's basically the same thing. Highlight one thing is that I at some point realized that, oh yeah, it does make a big difference that you line up all these ridges on these towers here. So I only glued 1 through 3 together, and unfortunately I was smart enough to line everything up. So like this column here is undecorated. These have little ridges on it. And the reason is because the chopsticks slide over this, and they slide up and down. I'm not sure this is up or down, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so this needs to be able to slide up and down over. Now I'm gonna have to do some sanding to make it smooth, but it's a little bit rough right now. I'll have to do some sanding, but in any case, this needs to move up and down on these columns. So these do need to be lined up properly. So don't mess that up. I'll put a little caption on the other part. I said it doesn't really matter. Anyway, so only this part is glue, which is fine. So we're okay. The rest of the sections I'm not going to glue until I've got everything assembled and the chopstick arms are working the way I want. So and then eventually I'll glue the top parts, the top half together once I'm happy everything is working smoothly. So the only other thing is I kind of poo-pooed the idea of worrying about these little gaps here, but they're kind of annoying me. So I am going to get some gap filler, which is basically wood putty is what you use with PLA plastic. So I'm going to get some matching color wood putty to cover these little gaps up. It'll look better. We'll see how it turns out. That'll be another thing that's new for me. I don't usually do a lot of post-processing on my whatever I print. I try to minimize that. So, okay, so sections 4, 5, 6, and 7, and when we come back, those will all be together, and we'll go on to the top part, which is 8 and 9A and B. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Post a comment if you have any questions or ideas, and I'll try to respond. That's all for now, but more videos are coming, and if you want to see them, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification icon if you don't want to miss one. This is Beta Cygni signing out, and keep looking up.